Hi everyone. Welcome to the first video of the channel. And today we are diving into the AWS App Runner, one of the easiest way to deploy applications without managing servers. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced developer, this will save a lot of your time and effort. In this video, we will take a simple .NET application. It is a web application or a web API that I will choose and I will deploy it step by step on AWS App Runner. So no complex configuration needed, no deep DevOps knowledge required, just a straightforward guide to get your app live in minutes. Let's get started. Yeah, now let's do our activity. So we need a Docker image for the first. Why? Because the app runner runs on the Docker image. If you see on the create service inside the app runner, you can see we need to provide an container image URL, which comes from either the Amazon ECR container images stored in the private ECR in your own account, or the Amazon ECR public, where shared with vendors and open source projects and other community developers container images. So for this, we need to have a container for this, a basic one. So if you already have a .NET 8 API project and you don't have Docker support on it, you can add the Docker support. Otherwise, we are going to create a new demo project in this tutorial to see how we are going to do that. So first we need to open the Visual Studio and create new project. And let me choose the .NET Core Web API project because we are going to host the Web API and I'll put that my Super API or something like that. You can name as you want because this is just a tutorial. So please ensure that we are enabling the container support and we are using the .NET 8. You can use the other .NET versions that is available right now as per your preference. So that is not a big deal. You can choose as like you want. So, why we are creating this project and why we are using the App Runner is because App Runner is a serverless thing, and we don't need to manually, have an overhead of managing the EC2 instances behind the scene. The AWS will manage those on our behalf, so we don't have to worry about that. And make sure that you have Docker desktop running in the background so that the Visual Studio can access this .NET the Docker Windows app and have Docker support on that part. So if you see this project, this is a basic startup project, and let me add a controller for this for our use case. And it's going to add an API controller. I'm going to add an empty API controller, and I'm going to call it as health check controller. So you may ask why we are adding a health check controller. So why we are adding a health check controller is because let me show one of my example here. So why we are adding the a health check controller is because in the app runner part, we can see there is a tab called health checkup and we can provide a controller URL for the health checkup. A get URL we can provide for, having the app runner know the app is running or not, it's down or alive. So for that purpose, we need a health check URL. Otherwise, you can put TCP as well there. But for as a best practice, we are going to put a health check URL here, and I'm going to paste a HTTP GET method, which just calling this controller will return us the 200. Okay, so let me call this as health check controller. So this is done. So let to make sure that our API is running or not. Let us just run it and see our Swagger URL is working or not. So yeah, so it's a simple project, right? So it's because it's a build so fast. I think so. We have our health check controller here, and let me try out that once and make sure that it returns a response fully, and its API is running. So I think that is working fine. Our API is working fine. Since this is our demo project, I'm going to comment this part from the Swagger URL, because this is not recommended if you are using a production version of the app, because the production version should not they expose the Swagger part. But since we are only using this project for the demo part, this will be helpful for us to see whether the API is running or not. So after that, what we need to do is we need to create a easier repository that will be looking in the next part of the video. Yes, now we have our project and it's ready to be published. So let us go to the Amazon ECR. If you don't have an Amazon account, then add a free tier version. And there is a create repository button. So we are going to create a Amazon, a private repository in the AWS ECR. So you can put like I will put my super API slash I'll put some kind of the master, or it called as dev, whatever it may be, you can put it like that. So and we'll put the mutable tags, and let it be the option that already has. So we'll create a repository. So here it is, my repository here, and we don't have any Docker image because we haven't pushed any one of the Docker image to the Amazon ECR. So to push the Docker image, we want to publish to AWS, and this is an add-on that we get in the Visual Studio. And if you configure it properly, then it is so simple to publish into the ECR from the Visual Studio itself. So here we have the published target, and we have the container image to Amazon ECR option. But we also see an ASP.NET Core app to AWS App Runner option here. So why we are not using this? Because we need to have an exposure through the AWS, the website part, the console part, and the portal part, rather than having through this tool. So uh, we are going to use this one, and click on the edit settings, and we have a tag, and all the seams looks fine. And if you click on the browse, if you don't see your repository name there, you can click on the browse button, and you see my super API dev is there, and you can click on publish. So make sure that you are publishing your image in the right location. So this will take a couple of minutes to publish into the AWS ECR part. And from the ECR part, what we need to do is we need to attach to this image, right, that is going to be published into the app runner, that we are going to see next for this video. So this is happening, and it may take a couple of minutes. So I think you need to wait for some time before it completes. Now you can see that my the Docker image was published to the Amazon Elastic Container Registry, and you can see the details here, the image URL and all the things. So we can make sure that it's there or not in the Amazon ECR. So let us click on refresh, and okay, this is there. And if you click on the image, we have all the image details, and all the stuffs are there. Since we this is a base image, I think this only 91 MB is not so much of size. So the second part that we have to do after the pushing the image to ECR, you can use any way to push the image to ECR. Either you can build to the local and copy the image and upload it here in the ECR. Otherwise, you can do directly from the Visual Studio. And after you have ensured that the image is in the ECR, what you can do is you can go to App Runner Service, and you can click on Create Service. So in the Create Service, this is a container registry, and this is our repositories in the Amazon private repository. And here we need to put the container URL. So we can click on browse, and we can click on the My Super API dev that we just created, and our the Docker image tag will be listed here, and click on 22. So there is two options that we have. We have one manual deployment, and one is automatic deployment. And manual deployment is was to start each deployment yourself using App Runner console or the AWS CLI. So whenever you update your image with the same tag, in the AWS ECR, which is here, with the same tag, because you need to use the same tag whenever you're uploading the second image or the second version of the image. Why? Because that could be the latest image that you need to publish to the users and publish through the the app service. So the manual trigger means you need to manually come here, or you need to manually write the code in the AWS CLI, or through that to trigger a deployment of the app runner service. Otherwise, we can put the automatic deployment where the app runner itself monitors your registry, and whenever you deploy a new version of the image, it will automatically deploy here. So, but the part that you need to note here is the automatic deployment will cost you $1. So if your app is no so much, you can, if you can manually deployment trigger, you can put that way, then you can save $1. If you are not, if you may forget about the deployment process and all these things, then you can put the automatic deployment option, but it will cost you $1. So please note that one. So you can use either the existing role, or you can, put a create new role. So let me create a new role for the app runner. So click on next. And here we need to provide the service name. So I will put my super API. It's a dev branch, let us consider, and we'll put dev. So DEV, and it's one vCPU, and you can choose. There are a lot of options, so you can choose any one of it. And let me choose the basic one because our app does not have anything, so I can a little bit save the cost for the demo. So, and this is zero point 0.5 GB, and it's okay for us. And environment variable, if you have any, you can add it. So like what we can add is like ASP.NET Core environment, and this could be production, because if you want to add it, you can add it, no problem. And our port is 8080, because why our port is 8080? If you see the Docker file inside it, it exposes the 8080 port. So that's why we put the port here as 8080. And there is some additional command if you want to provide, you can provide. And there is auto scaling group, is default configuration, concurrency is 100, maximum instance size is 25 instances, because we don't need to pay so much of amount. And health checkup is there, and you can put HTTP, and here you can put the pay slash health check controller. This is our controller that we have created, and you can put the interval, how much, in the frequency it should hit that controller to, ensure that our app is alive or dead at the same time. So the instance role, uh, this you can put create a new instance role, or you can put the instance role here. So I already have one of the app runner instance role. So let me put that one. Otherwise, you can go to IAM console and create one of the instance roles or your own according to what you're using inside your instance. If you're accessing the SSM parameter key, or if you're accessing any kind of other things using AWS SDK, then make sure that you are adding those permissions and those policies to the app runner instance role. So network part, let it be like that. We don't want to use the custom APC, and that the tag will be there. If you have any tag, then you can add the tag also, and click on the next. So this is the final review step. So if everything is okay, you can click on create and deploy. So once you click on create and deploy, the role name it's okay. So what we can do is we can click on edit, and uh, this already exists. So what we can do is app runner role demo. Maybe we can put, and we can try to create a one. So we'll create next, and we'll click and deploy. Yeah. So now you can see that our App Runner deployment is success, and but we need to discuss about who is App Runner for and why use it over other services. So while our AWS App Runner deployment is in progress and or its success, let's start talking about why we are using App Runner instead of something like AWS Fargate or Elastic Beanstalk. If you are a developer who just wants to focus on writing the code without worrying about infrastructure, AWS App Runner is made for you. Just a few clicks, it takes care of everything building, deployment, scaling, and securing an application without needing to manage load balancers, networking, or complicated configurations. Now you might be wondering why not use AWS Fargate, right? We have that service in AWS. Well, Fargate is great if you want more control over networking, IAM roles, and scaling policies. But it also means more setup. You have to configure ECS clusters, security groups, auto scaling rules yourself. App Runner, on the other hand, is fully managed. You don't have to think about scaling the AWS automatically. Does it better on demanding? It also comes with built-in HTTPS logging, health monitoring that we saw in the last part of the video. And compared to the Elastic Beanstalk, well, Beanstalk is a good for traditional web apps, but it's not optimized for containerized applications like App Runner does. Plus, Beanstalk still needs you to manage some infrastructure details, while App Runner makes everything serverless and hands-free, so you don't want to worry about anything. So, for the simplest way of deployment for a containerized app, I think App Runner is still best. Yeah, so now we can see our health URL. And if you see the configuration part, we have all here. And I think everything is working. And if you see logs here, you can see the app runner logs and you can see our health perform protocol, health checker controller. Has been success and our traffic has been routing to the our application. And here we can see the deployment logs and here we can see the application logs. So you may need to explore a little bit the activity and the metrics that we can get. And currently this is fresh applet, so we don't be having any kind of metrics here. But let's open the default domain URL and check whether application is running. So since we have enabled the Swagger URL, I think we can put Swagger. It will redirect to Swagger index. Yeah, it's coming and you can try out the weather API. This is the API that maybe you have some kind of different API. So this is working as perfect, and you can see the details here. And the Swagger is there, so your API is up and running. You can share with your clients, or you can share with the those who needs this API. So quickly you can make up an API services. So this will be the simplest part to turn up a containers application. So you can even configure the custom domains here so that this kind of the rubbish won't come, like ABCD won't come here. So you can configure your custom domain here, but we'll take that on a next video. It's been already long video, so if you like this video, please subscribe and like the video and subscribe to the channel. I will see you on more things related to AWS in the future. Yeah, have a great day and thank you.